If you're like me and waited till now to buy this game, you're in the right spot. Fallout 76 is Bethesda's newest multiplayer open-world RPG that takes place in the mountains of Appalachia. I never thought I'd buy a Bethesda multiplayer game. I always thought I would stick to their single-player RPGs, like the regular Fallouts, or even Skyrim. This game has piqued my curiosity. I decided to join in. Let's get into it. Fallout 76 is a massive open world game that defied even my expectations for this game. The story is dry at first, but it really is just them trying to shove you out of the vault into that open world. You're able to go where you see, and I enjoy that Bethesda doesn't hold you back due to limitations, rather than your own stupidity. You're more than welcome to go to the mire, but you'll get fucked up. The enemy variety is what I enjoy about the game due to how many enemies you come across, with the exception of ghouls and animals. Every creature pretty much sticks to certain regions of the map. To start off, you won't fight much besides feral ghouls, rabid dogs, and a few raiders here and there. But to start a new world is always scary because you don't know what you're ever going to come across. The forest. The starter region of the game that for some reason everyone decides to ditch because it's the starter area. What could be useful, right? Wrong. I would advise everyone starting off to stay in this region till you hit at least double-digit ranks and feel comfortable. Be warned, there is a cult in Appalachia in the forest that worships a flying man. They are not to be played with. They are dangerous and they will kill you on sight. This area can be a bitch starting off, but it is by far the best way to get a grip on the game's mechanics. Head to Wayward when you leave the vault, directly east. Good folks live there, they will help you. The Toxic Valley. Dry as shit's the best way to explain this place. Bring some water and a lot of bullets. Watch your head, cause it's a shit show up north. Besides the mirelurks and the deadly toxins corroding the air, it's not a bad place for loot. If you do have a high enough level, have good guns, try the place out. You never know, give it a shot, but be warned, you come here at your own risk, and if you die, do not blame me. I will not be held liable. The Savage Divide, where north and south are complete opposites. Go north if you're hunting for monsters. Stay south to even have a chance of survival. If you find your way up north, there's a munitions factory that's surely to come in handy against those pesky raiders. Speaking of raiders, the Divide is where their presence is felt the most. Unfortunately, more danger means more loot. The settlers in this area have been harassed for decades. Maybe you can help, or maybe you can hurt. If you're fortunate enough to wipe out a gang of degenerates, there will surely be a prize at the end. Raiders love loot. The Ash Heap. Safe to say, this is what industrialized America looked before the bombs dropped. Feral ghouls, mole people, detect this area. Radiation will kill you before they do. Toxic gases coming from years of pollution sit like a dense fog in the area. Bring a mask or suffer the consequences. If you're lucky enough to come across government-issued robots along the waste, you can surely find them in the Ash Heap, or maybe a downed vertibird carrying cargo. You never know, in the Ash Heap. Unfortunately, most of the land has been eroded from nuclear bombs hitting the place over the past 100 years. It looks nothing like America looked back in the day, but there's one thing for sure. Don't get caught up after dark. The consequences could be fatal. My journey just started as well, and I have not discovered the mire or cranberry bog. But from stories I've heard, the place sounds like a living hell. Stories of super mutants, mythical beasts, beasts that roam the air. Shit sounds pretty crazy, right? But nevertheless, there is a whole nother side of this game that we haven't spoke about yet. The building aspect. This is just one of the many camps you will come across while playing the game. For example, this settlement here is a vending shop that has a bar for players to come use whenever they like. Fallout 76 has the opportunity to be one of the greatest multiplayer games if they play their cards right. We are finally seeing years of Fallout players come together to make a truly special world. I encourage everyone to dive into the camp system and integrate a part of yourself into the community. Help out players and let this community flourish and not be toxic. You may be wondering, how am I contributing to Appalachia? Well, I reside in the forest, where I plan on hosting a talk show and letting the community players come on to discuss certain topics on the game. I want players' voices to be heard, and I feel like this is my calling for the game. If you want to be featured on the show, add me on Xbox at 6shot4. Let me know how you're interested. I hope you got something useful out of this video, and as always, subscribe for more, and have a pleasant evening.